Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Idioms Explained podcast. This is Season 2, Episode 9, and you're with Emily on Learn English by English.
And I'm Alex. Great to be with you all. Emily, before we get to today's idiom about taking shortcuts, let's reveal the answer to the What's Alex's Idiom challenge from S2E9.
Let's do it. Last episode, Alex, you described a tense moment where you almost revealed a surprise party, nearly letting out a secret.
I did. It was a close one. And we asked our listeners which idiom from Season 1 best described almost revealing a secret. The correct idiom was to let the cat out of the bag, or, in my case, almost letting the cat out of the bag.
To let the cat out of the bag, exactly, meaning to reveal a secret, often carelessly. Fantastic job to everyone who guessed correctly. You can review that idiom in Episode 8 of Season 1.
Well done, idiom detectives. Now, Emily, what idiom are we discussing today that often involves trying to save time or money, but not always with the best results?
Today, Alex, we're looking at a very common phrase, to cut corners.
To cut corners. I've heard this one a lot. It means to do something in the easiest, cheapest, or quickest way, often by omitting steps or ignoring quality standards, right?
Precisely. It implies taking shortcuts that might compromise the quality or safety of the final result, usually to save time or money. For example, the company was accused of cutting corners on safety regulations to increase profits.
That sounds like a serious accusation. So it often has a negative connotation, suggesting a lack of care or thoroughness. What's the origin of this phrase, Emily? Does it literally mean cutting the corners off something?
The origin is quite literal, Alex. Imagine driving a vehicle or even walking. If you cut a corner, you go across the inside of it instead of going all the way around it properly. This saves a tiny bit of time or effort, but can be dangerous or against the rules. Metaphorically, this extended to taking shortcuts in tasks or manufacturing.
Ah, that makes perfect sense. So just like cutting a corner on the road can be risky, cutting corners in a project can lead to problems later. For example, if you cut corners when baking a cake, it probably won't taste very good.
Exactly. Or they cut corners when building the house, and now it has a lot of structural problems. It often leads to a lower quality outcome or even failure.
So it's generally seen as a bad practice, especially when quality, safety, or rules are important. Is it always negative, or can there be situations where minor corner cutting is acceptable?
While the idiom usually carries a negative or critical tone, one might argue that in very low-stakes situations, a minor shortcut might be seen as efficient by some. However, the idiom itself typically implies a disregard for proper procedure or quality. If someone says, "We can't afford to cut corners on this project," they mean quality is paramount.
That's a good distinction. The context is important, but the idiom leans towards criticism. So, to summarize for our listeners, to cut corners means to do something in the easiest, quickest, or cheapest way, often by sacrificing quality or ignoring rules.
An excellent and clear summary, Alex. A very important idiom to understand, especially in work or when assessing quality. Now, are our listeners ready to not cut corners in their thinking for today's What's Alex's Idiom challenge from Season 1?
Just hope for thorough and accurate guesses. Here's today's scenario. My brother was telling me about his plans to start a new online business. He also wants to learn a new language and train for a marathon, all at the same time this year. I'm a bit worried he's trying to do too much.
Which idiom from Season 1 best describes my concern that my brother is taking on too many difficult tasks at once? Wow, that is a lot for your brother. Listeners, what do you think? Which Season 1 idiom describes taking on more than one can handle? Write your answers in the comments below.
We look forward to seeing your thoughtful responses. And that's our time for this episode.
Thanks for joining us for Season 2, Episode 9 of Idioms Explained podcast. Make sure to subscribe to Learn English by English and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. We promise not to cut corners on our content.
We pour our best efforts into each lesson. Your likes, shares, and comments are incredibly valuable. Until next time, everyone.
Bye for now, and always aim for quality.